Welcome to the 3 over 2. I'm Joe Fortunato, and as always, I'm joined here with Chris Grieve. What's going on, Chris?
I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. We had our winter break, and then the first few weeks of our semester, we didn't do the show. So now we're back, and there's so much NBA that happened while we were gone, and we're just ready to talk about it.
Yeah, it's been a minute. There's been so many things that's happened in the NBA since we've last caught up on it, and it's crazy to think that that was almost 2 months ago at this point. So when we left off, it was right before we went on Christmas break here at Newman. We were excited about many things coming up. One of those things was the fact that Curry was going to break the three-point record. Unfortunately, it happened a little later than we thought it would happen. He went through a little slump before he broke it, so we didn't get to talk about it. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, he finally became number one all-time three-point shooter. I mean, he was widely considered the best three-point shooter for years now, but now he's got the title.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I was glad to see him finally be able to do it. It was a cool moment doing it in New York, and I think everyone saw it coming, so it was a fun game, and he just got to have fun with it. Although ever since then, he's kind of been in a huge slump, which is a little disappointing. He got back to it, hit a buzzer beater about a week ago. I don't know. I was happy about it though, and I'm sure you're super happy about this.
Yeah, man, I was pretty hype. I mean, you think about the significance of doing an MSG, right? I mean, that's where his first game was, where Curry became Curry. Like, he blew up. Everyone's like, oh man, this kid from Davidson, he's a baller. And he really just became that Stephen Curry we know today. And it seems like that was at MSG. So the fact that he broke the record at MSG was just so fitting.
Yeah, I love when that happens, when players get like their first points at one stadium and then their last points at the same stadium. It's just a cool moment, and or like get your first and then break the record there. It always just makes it better.
Yeah, I think so too. What else happened that you want to point out?
Um, Kind of the standings are somewhat the same since the last time we were here, but I think the East has flipped up a lot. The Miami Heat have been playing really good lately.
Really good.
They're climbed all the way up to the first seed in the East. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unexpected by any means. I think we agreed that the Heat would be a top three seed, one of our first episodes here. But at the end of the day, it's the kind of basketball that they've been playing is just so good because they don't need Jimmy Butler to go out there and get 30 on any night. If Jimmy Butler gets 20, that's fine because they got a guy coming off the bench averaging 20 points a game in Tyler Hero. I think they spread the workload really well there, so I think come playoff time, that team's going to be very strong.
Yeah, and it seems like every single player finds their role and they know their role. Bam Adebayo was out a while, and then Omer came in and was getting like 15 rebounds a game, and now he's just out of the rotation again. But it seems like whoever they put in produces on that team, and I don't know, it's pretty impressive. I think that they will continue to be the one seed in the East. Only team I can maybe see catching up is the Bulls, and
Yeah,
that kind of depends on their health. I mean, Lonzo's out now.
4 to 6 weeks.
There wasn't many big injuries while we were gone, but I guess that might have been the biggest one.
Well, Alex Caruso's been really battling injuries, and while
Yeah,
Caruso's not a 15, 20 point per game scorer, he's still a big part of that Bulls team. And the fact that he's just been going constant 4 to 6 week injuries, I mean, you got to hope that him as well as Lonzo Ball will be healthy around playoff time. I think if they come back too late, like say they come back, the injury gets pushed back, they come back around April. I mean, who knows what shape they'll be in for the playoffs.
Yeah, that happens a lot of the times too, where just teams don't mesh. Kind of happened last year with the Nets. All their players were battling injuries all year, and you knew they were the better team than the Bucks, but then they weren't able to beat them because they didn't have the chemistry and they weren't playing with each other for a while. I think the Bulls, honestly, the NBA's been good this year. There hasn't been a ton of injuries, and I think the Bulls are really the only team that's got hit hard with them. Patrick Williams, who I was so high on, is missing the whole season, and then Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. That's three big injuries for the Bulls, but they're still a pretty good team, mainly because of DeMar.
Yeah, I mean, that stung them early, and you're right. DeMar DeRozan, if this isn't the biggest career resurrection that you've ever seen, then I need to hear one that's better because at the end of the day, this guy was counted out. He went to San Antonio, and everyone thought his career was going to die there. Then he finds a new environment in Chicago, and he's back to averaging 25 points a game. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think DeMar DeRozan, there's a lot of talks that he could even be the MVP. I can kind of see it. He's not my pick for MVP, but I could see where people are getting at with that. Of course, All-Star game starter. He's having probably his best year of his career, and it's impressive to say that because he was so good on the Raptors too, and he kind of got back to that Raptors form and even better in like more of the later stage of his career, which you never really see.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly rare. I mean, he's coming in here averaging 25 points a game in a new environment. Billy Donovan is very good at finding a player that he wants to run his offense through. And at the same time, he's doing this with another 25 point per game scorer in Zach LaVine. So it's pretty crazy what the Chicago Bulls have going on. It's just the only thing that's going to hold them back. And what I could see hurting them in the future is just those injuries, obviously.
Yeah, and maybe come playoff time, right before like playoff times and trade deadline, I think they're one of the teams that should make a deal, should try and get. I think they need another forward in that starting.
Well, they're talking
lineup,
about
and
Jeremy Grant.
that'd be the perfect fit for them.
Perfect fit.
But Jeremy Grant's being weird. He doesn't want to go anywhere where he's not the number one option.
Yeah,
which,
that's not many places in the NBA
yeah,
nowadays.
like you can stay in Detroit or you could stay in Detroit. Like,
And is he really the number one option in Detroit? I mean, they're trying to feed Cade, and Cade just had, like 34, 38 the other night? I mean...
Oh, Cade's going to take over.
Oh, by next season.
Yeah, give it 1 year, and
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant's forgotten about there. Like,
Yeah, if I was him, you already got your bag. They paid you well. Go to, the Bulls and play for a contender.
well, I don't even know if I'm a contender, that's kind of turning me off with him.
Yeah.
The fact that he cares more about his stats and putting up points than winning games. And I never thought that about Jeremy Grant. Like when I saw him on the Nuggets a couple years ago in the bubble, he was a guy who was just the perfect role player, great
Right.
defender, could block shots, like catches lobs, does all the things that superstar players don't do, and was a great compliment player on the Nuggets. But then now all of a sudden he wants to be the star. Kind of annoying.
Yeah, no, I don't see him like that. Obviously, he was in a Sixers uniform for a while, significantly better than where he was as far as skill-wise when he was with the Sixers. But at the end of the day, it's like you already got paid. What else are you? You're not gonna be a max guy come 3 or 4 years from now. Like you got a 4-year deal, you're getting paid. Why even stress the fact that you can play for a contender but average 12 points a game at making the money you made? Like it's just like any other role player in the league that got paid. It's like now go try and win.
Yeah, and he should. So I think we should get into our All-Star talk now.
Yeah, all-star starters just dropped.
It's crazy because it feels like our last show was probably started the NBA season, and now we're already at the All-Star talk. So
It flies by.
yeah, this season's been flying by, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. So actually, yesterday, right before this show, All-Star starters were announced. There was a little bit of a surprise in there.
A little bit. I think we
But-
should address the elephant in the room
All
and
right.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, so the West All-Stars were Steph Curry, John Morant, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron, and Jokic. I don't know about Andrew Wiggins
It's-
being in there.
So it's interesting. So you need 2 guards, you need 2 forwards, and you need a center. That's how the top 5 All-Star works. But my thing is, like, yeah, Andrew Wiggins has the whole country of Canada rooting for him. He has the Kansas fan base rooting for him. He has the Cleveland fan base rooting for him. He's got the Timberwolves fan base rooting for him. And obviously, Oakland's all behind him. So he's getting the votes like that. But is the forward position in the West that weak?
It really is. I was looking at that before. I was like, there's got to be someone else there.
But then,
You got LeBron and
yeah, but then there's the thing where it's like, is Devin Booker? I mean, Devin Booker's not a small forward, by his actual like position he's listed at, but you can slip Devin Booker to that starting small forward spot, or even Luka Doncic. Like I know Luka's pretty much a point guard at this point in his career, but like you're telling me you can't slide one of those guys in there over, and like you're comparing Andrew Wiggins. Everyone else in that starting lineup averages 25 points a game plus, and then you're throwing Andrew Wiggins in there, who's like, I guess he's the second option, but with Clay coming back, it's like, is he really the second option? So
no,
it's
not
just
anymore.
it's just a very weird situation. I don't agree with it don't get me wrong, happy Wiggins is an all-star. I'm excited for him. I think that's a big step in his career, and it could give him a bunch of confidence for this next second half of the season. But starter, I can't see it.
Well, I have a couple points on this. First of all, I'm not mad about Wiggins being a starter, and I don't completely disagree with it, but I disagree with two things about it. I don't think that the NBA should have fan voting determine the All-Star starting lineup. I kind of think that that's a dumb reason, and I feel like if they did that, the fans are just not going to take it serious and put in, Derrick Rose every single year, which they've been trying to, even though he's just a role player now. He almost got the start this year, but he didn't. And then also, I think that the NBA should just get rid of positions for the All-Star game.
Agreed.
The NBA is such a positionless game now. You don't even really know what players' positions are. Like, it's big and small. That's really all it is.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, like, what is Jokic? Like, is Jokic really a center? Like, you don't really know, is my point. Like, yeah, he's a 7-foot guy, and he's listed.
Big.
Yeah, he's listed as a big, but he also brings the ball up the court. There's a lot of positionless basketball that comes with those kind of guys. I even think, like, Andrew Wiggins is kind of a positionless guy, like the way he plays the 4, 3, and 2. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it should just be 5 guys. Like, who cares if LeBron James is a starting center in the All-Star game? Like, I don't care. Like, just give it to the top 5 votes.
I want to see the top 5 guys in the starting lineup, and then the top, 14 players in total?
Yeah.
I want to see that. And another thing that's just interesting about this, when Andrew Wiggins came out as, like, he was the next big thing coming out of college. And
the Maple Mamba.
number 1 pick. People were thinking he was the next LeBron. It's kind of crazy we're seeing him in his first All-Star game, like, this late into his career.
And he's a starter. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
He's been in the league, 7 years, and now he's finally a starter? Like, that's crazy.
Well, what do you think about the other guys? All deserving? What about Ja Morant?
I think Ja's deserving. Ja's having
Ja's
having a really good year.
He's an MVP caliber guy right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With the Grizzlies playing good brand of basketball.
They're one of the top teams in the West, and yeah, he's by far their best player.
Yeah. His leadership skills are crazy for, 3rd year in the league? I mean, Ja Morant's been... I saw some clips of him mic'd up during the game, and just the way he's, like, talking to, like, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson and, like, telling them what to do and where to go on the court, where to stop that, where to do this. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
I think my favorite team, other than the Sixers this year to watch, well, I don't know if the Sixers are my favorite team to watch. It's just that they're my favorite
It's been stressful.
basketball team. Yeah, it hasn't been the best, but my favorite team to watch is probably the Grizzlies. They're a fun team to watch, and I love all their role players. And Ja just has so much energy. Ja might be the one player in the NBA right now that I'd want to go see live.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Sixers are my team to watch. It's been tough, but other than that, I mean, I've enjoyed watching the Warriors for a long time now, and a surprising team has been the Hornets. The Hornets have been so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like LaMelo Ball throwing crazy lobs to Miles Bridges, who's a fan favorite here.
Yeah, got the Miles Bridges reference in now.
Yeah, it's going to come back later too, but let's move on to the East. What do the East have?
So for the East starters, it's Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Giannis, Durant, Embiid.
Yeah.
Perfect. I want to change a thing. I think.
Okay, yeah. There's not a Andrew Wiggins kind of guy in there,
Oh,
so
no, definitely not.
yeah, no. I think all of them are deserving. They're a big lineup, which is kind of fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch them start with that huge lineup. Yeah, you got all 5 of those guys are playing MVP caliber basketball right now.
Yeah, they're all in the candidates. So I think we don't really need to debate much there. That's what the starters should be. But there's a lot of debate with picking the rest of the All-Star team. So I think we were talking about doing this before the show. We were going to go through and just give like our lists, who we pick. But I think it'd be more fun. We name a player, we say yes or no on them. And then I'm going to name about 12 players from the East, 12 from the West. So we're going to have to say no to at least 3 to make our
This might be tough.
All-Star team.
This might be tough.
Yeah. Where do you want to start, East or West?
Let's start the East, because I think there's a lot of interesting names in the East.
And I ranked these players from easiest to hardest decisions.
Okay.
So
all right, let's do it.
First off, we got Zach LaVine.
In.
Yeah, he's in. No debating. The Bulls are really good. It's him and DeRozan, the main 2 guys. He for sure makes it.
He's been struggling with some injuries, but when Zach's on the court, he's a beast.
All right, next up, Harden.
In.
Yeah, there's no debate about Harden either. he's having still another amazing statistical season. He's getting 30-point triple doubles almost every day. You can't not put James Harden in.
Yeah, he's solidified.
LaMelo Ball.
In.
I like LaMelo.
All right, so we got 3 in already. That's pretty quick.
Those 3 are locks.
They're locks.
Here, all right, this guy I have a little up high because he might be on the border, but Fred VanVleet.
Okay, so that's going to be interesting come when we get to guys like Darius Garland, who's going to be on this list. So I got to say in. I mean, he's been playing really good. Toronto's not the best team. They're not even going to be a playoff team. They might be a play-in team, but I'd say he's in. What do you think?
I might have to come back to this one because I didn't try and think this out before. This is my first initial thoughts after hearing these names.
Mm-hmm.
I might say I like Garland more than him.
Okay, I do too.
I like Garland more than him.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on who else we got on this list. So, do you want to just skip to Garland now? What are we saying? Are we saying in?
I just changed my mind after looking up the NBA standings. I didn't look them up this morning. I last looked at them last night. In the matter of one night, the Cleveland Cavaliers have become 3rd in the East.
Yeah.
At 30-19. Yeah.
Gotta put
Fred out of there. Put Garland in.
We're putting Garland in. We're removing Fred for now, but
yeah, we can circle back to Fred.
We might circle back.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
In.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Best team in the East. He's got to be in.
Yeah. Although I don't know who else from that team. Or would you say anyone else? Bam?
I wrote Tyler Hero.
I wouldn't say Hero.
I wouldn't either, but he is averaging 20 off the bench, which is crazy. And he's averaging more points than some of these guys that are going to be all-stars. Like Andrew Wiggins, for example, who's an all-star starter.
He's averaging more than Wiggins, but I don't think I would do it.
Nah, yeah. I think that's safe.
Next up, Jason Tatum.
In. I mean, he's got to be in because he's averaging like 26 a night or whatever, 27 a night, but Celtics are terrible.
I really want to say no.
I want to say no, too, because
no.
I hate Boston, but I mean, you can't do you remember a couple years ago when Brad Beal averaged 30 a night and he wasn't an all-star?
Yeah, and everyone was outraged over it.
Yeah, so I feel like the same would happen with Jason Tatum.
He's averaging 26, 8.5, and 4.
Yeah, he's got to be in.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, they're a winning record. Like, they're 8th in the East, but if they went over to the West, because for some reason the East is better than the West nowadays, I mean, they would be 7th. So, I mean, it's not crazy difference, but Boston's still a winning team. If they were like, where the Pacers are at 13th, like, obviously it'd be a different story.
Oh, for sure. So then I'll circle over to the other player on the Celtics, Jalen Brown.
No.
Part of me wanted to say Brown makes it and Tatum doesn't, because I feel like when I watch the games, they just play better with Jalen Brown than Jason Tatum.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like he has more of a positive impact on the team. They always play better defense. They move the ball better with Jalen Brown, but then Jason Tatum comes out there and it's just ISO ball. I mean, so is Jalen Brown to an extent, but it's tough. The East is really hard to make these picks.
Well, I just looked up Jalen Brown, and Jalen Brown's one of the best players in the league by his shooting splits, and he's significantly better than Tatum when it comes to shooting splits. If Jalen Brown shot the same amount of shot attempts as Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown would average 29 points a game. So,
oh wow. So I don't know. Maybe I go with Jalen Brown then. I feel like my gut was telling me Jalen Brown and leave out Tatum because I don't want to put both in, given how bad the Celtics are.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's one or the other. I guess I would give Tatum the nod. I honestly couldn't care less.
Honestly, I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm going Brown.
All right, go Brown.
All right, so we said Darius Garland we're putting in.
Yeah, I'm a big Darius Garland guy.
Miles Bridges. This has a huge impact.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I have to go with no, because I do think there's better candidates. Like, if we left out Jason Tatum, how are we supposed to put in Miles Bridges? But I want to see him in there, so I might. I just don't think it's right
for him. I think I'm going no to Bridges.
Okay, so who's next then?
Jared Allen. I'm going in for Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Given how good the Cavs are with their record, I think they need 2 All-Stars, and he's definitely worthy of it. He's having by far his best year of his career. He's turned into arguably like a top six center in the NBA.
Yeah, I put him up there for sure. Me and my friends actually just discussed what our top centers were, and he was definitely in my talks.
Yeah, so right now he's averaging 16 and 11. It's a good year for Jared Allen on one of the best teams with some of the best defense in the NBA.
Yeah, and that doesn't even speak about his defensive impact, which is what he's known for.
Yeah, so I think Jared Allen's an in for me. How about Vucevic?
No.
Yeah, all right.
Vucevic has been playing pretty bad, actually.
He's been really bad. He was one of the players I said earlier on I thought he would have a bad year. One of the players I thought would take a step down. Not a fan of Vucevic, and I feel like he always kind of just put up good numbers on the Magic. I don't know if he really adds that much to the Bulls as much as his stats say.
I think he does. I think if he was not on the Bulls, they would miss him a lot.
It's possible, but at the same time, I feel like he could be replaced with someone else. Like
he is a good defender too, though. Like Vucevic is underrated defender.
He's a good playmaker too. I feel like he's one of those players that at a point was so underrated in his career, and now he's overrated. Like it kind of
I could see that,
he
but
got so underrated he's overrated.
But at the same time, like if you replace Vucevic with a guy who's a good defender and can, maybe catch some lobs, then he probably could be replaced. But
Jared Allen, I'd rather have Jared Allen. I think.
Well, yeah, I'd rather have Jared Allen, especially on the Bulls team.
Oh yeah, it would just be a better fit.
Oh, they would be crazy.
And then the last player in the East, Pascal Siakam. He's actually been balling.
He has been balling. I feel like there's a little bias going on here.
It is a little bit biased, but I was trying to pick the last player that could be considered, and I went Siakam. I really don't think he's going to be an all-star, so I'm just going to say no, unfortunately.
All right, so who's in?
So
does that give us room for Fred VanVleet?
I think that might. We have Jared Allen, that's 1. Darius Garland, that's 2. Jalen Brown, or are we saying Brown or Tatum?
Just do Brown.
All right, we'll do Brown.
Or neither, I don't care.
4, Jimmy Butler. 5, LaMelo Ball. 6, James Harden. 7, Zach LaVine. We have room for like 2 more. So
okay, so Fred's in there. Yeah, Fred's gonna be in there, and
that's
then
8. How many is there? 14.
Yeah,
we could get even 2 more. I think.
No, I think only 1 more.
Oh, okay, then
Tatum.
Or do we want to do Bridges over Tatum?
Yeah, for the show, we'll do Bridges over Tatum.
And
regardless of what I think, we gotta do Bridges over Tatum.
Yeah, and I don't really think that will end up happening, but
nah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Charlotte has 2 All-Stars.
Yeah, no shot.
All right, so now we're going out west.
Yeah, let's go out west now. Right. Starting off easy again. So Luka
in,
Devin Booker
in,
Gobert
in,
Donovan Mitchell
in,
CP3
in,
Anthony Edwards.
Okay, yeah, that's one of the guys I want to talk about.
Now we'll slow down a little bit and talk about it.
Can we circle back to Ant-Man?
Yeah, of course. So right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players.
Okay.
We need 5 more, and I got a couple names here. So we got Damian Lillard.
Not in.
Yeah, I don't want to put Lillard in.
No, he's not playing anymore for the rest of the year anyway.
Yeah, so I don't think that's worth it. Klay Thompson.
No.
It's too soon.
Fan vote, yes, but no.
Yeah, I know some people are going to want to try and slide Klay in, but
you can't.
DeJounte Murray.
In.
That's one that I was hoping we just go lock and put him in.
Yeah, I agree, lock.
Then we got Draymond Green. I think you got to put Green in, even though Wiggins already made it.
Yeah, I think you got to put Green in. I mean, I saw something today, actually. The Warriors' defense without Green. So, when you think of Draymond Green, you think of defense, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So, the Warriors without Green are still 5th in the league. But guess where their offense ranks without Draymond Green in there?
Probably like middle of the pack or something.
28th.
Oh, wow.
Without Green. So his offensive impact makes the Warriors great in a way. So without him, they've proven the struggle. With him, they've had proven success. So I'm going to say Draymond's an all-star.
This is another one here that I feel like it's debated, but I'm going in for him. Karl Anthony Towns.
In. I'm a hater on Cat, but in.
And with the lack of other players in the West right now, I feel like the West is weaker than normal this year when it comes to
the East is better.
Yeah, the East was harder.
This might be the first time in our time watching the NBA that the East is better than the West.
Brandon Ingram.
I mean, He's putting up what, like 25 a night?
Yeah, he's putting up good numbers. So.
But he's playing on such a bad team. So, I mean, I personally don't think team record matters too much for All-Stars. Like, if you're averaging 25 on a bad team, sure, you can come in, but is he better than, like, guys like Anthony Edwards, who's playing on the 8th best team at a 500 record? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I'd rather have Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards is just a better player, too.
Okay.
Ingram should be averaging 25 on the
Without Zion?
Pelicans.
Yeah,
for sure. He
definitely
needs to be doing that. So I think right now we have Luka, Booker, Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, CP3, Draymond, Cat, and DeJounte. That's 8 players.
So we're missing
2 more.
All right, so throw Ant-Man in there.
And Ant-Man.
Or was he already in there?
No, that wasn't included. So 1 more in the West.
All right.
Some of our options. Oh, I already threw in Draymond. Man, we're really running low.
All right.
I don't want to say Clay.
All right, name the last names you had, and then we'll just pick.
So I had Lillard, Clay, Green, DeJounte, Cat, Ingram. I already put in Cat, though.
So who's missing out?
Ingram, Dame, Clay.
That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we're missing any big names there. I mean, obviously they're big names, but not this year.
Someone, but Paul George, if you wanna.
And he's been hurt.
Yeah,
he's been hurt for like a month and a half. I don't think you can put him in.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of. I feel like the West is hurt, and
is that really it?
We got to be missing.
We got to be missing.
This is bugging me.
Yeah. So who are we missing? We got Donovan Mitchell in there. We got Gobert in there.
What's on the
not Anthony Davis, obviously.
DeAndre Ayton, maybe.
Nah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think
he's also been hurt.
I think we've hit everything. I mean, is there anyone?
Harrison Barnes.
Shea.
Possibly Shea.
He's on a 14-win team, but there's Shea.
De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox is playing really bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying big name players.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying you should.
Yeah, definitely not.
No Mike Conley makes it again back to back. Oh, Anthony Davis. Didn't say him.
No, I just said him, but I don't think he should be in.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be in. I mean,
you got to give him one of the spots though, because there's really nobody.
Shea's averaging 23, 5 assists. He's averaged some boards, 4.8 boards. I don't know. I think we're fine with the list we have now, honestly.
Yeah, we're going like way too deep into thinking about this, but yeah, it's not as good of an all-star cast as it has been in years before. Seen a lot of younger players this year, which I love to see. I like to see young players in it, but I feel like normally there's always a ton of big-name snubs in the all-star game. This year, I don't really see. Maybe in the East there'll be a couple. Bridges might get snubbed, or like Garland or one of them.
There's always snubs, and that's part of the all-star game. And some people are going to be mad. Derrick Rose fans have been mad since like 2011 about him not being an all-star.
Yeah.
You know, it's just part of the game. We didn't talk about Brad Beal.
So the East just has even more players. I didn't say Beal.
I was just thinking about that snub kind of thing, and we talked about Brad Beal, but we didn't even throw him in here.
We didn't even mention him. So
and the Wizards are playing decent basketball for.
Throw him in over Fred VanVleet.
I don't even know. All right, we gotta move on. We've been stuck on. We can talk about this for hours, obviously. So, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is our first show back in a long time. There was a lot of things that happened. That's kind of why we wanted to recap some things. But we also mentioned on our first ever episode that we wanted to visit our predictions. You know, the first episode we made our predictions, most improved player, MVP, all the awards. And then right after we did that, we mentioned that we wanted to talk about them again around All-Star time. So it's around All-Star time. We thought it'd be a good time to do this since it's our first show back. And the kind of way we're going to operate this is just we're going to go over what we had, and if we want to change anything, we can. But now we got to lock it in. So there's no changing it, no going back.
It's our mid-season picks.
Yeah. So I'll let you start off because we had the same MVP. We both predicted that Luka Doncic was going to win the MVP this year. Are you sticking to Luka or are you changing it up?
So I have to change my pick with Luka as MVP.
Okay.
Luka's had a good year, but there's just so many other good players right now. And if I were to pick one, I'm going Embiid. The way he's been playing, the 30-point game streaks, and just pretty much every single night carrying a Sixers team.
Carrying. Fifth in the East.
This is the best basketball Embiid's ever played. I think he might be one of the top 3 most dominant players in the NBA right now.
He's unguardable.
He really is. And his mid-range and ability just to get to the free throw line, you can't beat it. I think Embiid is my MVP right now if the season were to end today, and I don't really see him slowing down.
Yeah, I agree. So I had Luka just like you, and I'm going to switch to Embiid just like you. I think Embiid, the way he's playing is just so crazy. Like, I've never seen Embiid want to, like, put someone in the hoop so bad. Like, he's backing down these centers and just trying to dunk on them every play, and I love it. Like, yeah, Embiid's still shooting those mid-ranges that, are his bread and butter, but he's trying to dunk on people. He's trying to swat everything coming to the hoop. I love seeing Embiid play like this. He's playing with a bunch of, like, grit, and you can just tell he has a chip on his shoulder, and he just wants to go out there and prove that the Sixers can be dominant with him just being basically the only person on the team that's going to go out and get the points.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's pretty set right there. I'm not changing mine.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good pick for both of us and very likely to happen.
So I got to say, these last awards. So the last awards I got Most Improved Player, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. I had Monty Williams, but those last 5 awards, I'm not changing a thing that
Really?
I had from the preseason prediction. But I will say my most improved players were, I had Garland, Barrett, and Jordan Poole. I'm locking in Garland, obviously crossing out Barrett and Jordan Poole, but I did want to bring up RJ Barrett because he's not taking the leap I expected him to take. I kind of cheated by having 3 most improved players, but I'm locking in Garland since he was one of them. But RJ Barrett not taking a step that I thought he would take, but Julius Randle's taking the exact step that me and you both thought he would take.
Yeah, he's fallen off.
He's
bad now.
He's really, really bad. Have you seen the Knicks game this year?
I've seen a couple, and
he cannot go right.
No.
He has only a left hand. He's in the NBA. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, yeah, there's a lot of guys like LeBron, he can go right every play because you can't stop his right. Now, LeBron does have a left hand, obviously, and he can go any direction he wants, but Julius Randle's not that dominant on his left side where it's like, oh, I'm going to go left and you can't do anything to stop it. So I think that's really been his downfall. I think teams have just realized that you just cut off Julius Randle's left side and he's just a broken man. He can't go the other side. It's pretty crazy to see, but who is your most improved and who are you locking in?
So I had Kevin Porter as my most improved. We are not talking about that. We're switching our pick. I think for most improved, I got to go Miles Bridges now.
So not Garland?
It's close. I
Yeah.
feel like Garland was, I don't know. I got to see their stats from last year, but I feel like Bridges has jumped more in like points per game, and he's just kind of had more of a jump. I'd have to see the actual numbers, but to me, it feels like Miles Bridges has had more of a jump than Darius Garland, and I don't know. I see your face.
I think you're gonna change your mind after what I tell you.
What did Garland go from?
So it's not a stat I have on hand, but I saw something on Instagram this week saying like Darius Garland statistically, like based on the number of
I know
shots
what
he
you're
was
talking
shooting,
about, actually.
was the worst player in the NBA. The worst player in the NBA because of the way like his plus minus and his shooting splits, and now he's an all-star or borderline all-star. So I think that's the biggest jump to me. Like, yeah, you can look at the exact numbers like points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, but I think from going to from the worst player in the league to potential all-star, I think that's crazy.
Okay, that's a fair point for that too. But Bridges kind of just went from a role player to over a 20-point per game scorer. So I think that there's a good case for both.
Oh, definitely. I'm not.
That's might be the closest race out of all these awards we're talking about is the most improved between those two. I don't really see anyone else getting into it. I looked up the odds right now, and the favorite's actually John Morant. But I don't think they give it to him because he was already an elite level player.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys where it's kind of unfortunate, but you can't, if you make such a leap, you can't make really a run for most improved player because you're going for MVP at that point. And they kind of just cross you out the most improved player
he's more
equation.
of an MVP candidate. I know Draymond Green said that about him. He said that.
That's exactly where I'm getting it from.
Yeah, John Morant's not the most improved. He's an MVP candidate.
Exactly. And I forgot where I heard that. It was definitely on Draymond's podcast, but which is awesome, by the way. Draymond having a podcast, one of the greatest things that happened this season. But yeah, trust me, no Miles Bridges slander over here. I'm all for him, but my pick would be Garland. So let's move on. We got Rookie of the Year. First episode, I said Evan Mobley. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going to say Evan Mobley again. He's been playing crazy good basketball. You know, I saw JJ Redick's podcast with Kevin Love. I don't know if you watched that one yet, but he's talking about how impressive Evan Mobley is, and it just makes sense. Like, the numbers he's putting up are impressive, but he's also doing it contributing to the third best team in the East. Like, he's not doing this on the Detroit Pistons or the Orlando Magic where it's just like, oh, they're good numbers for a rookie, but what's it doing towards winning? Like, he's winning games doing these numbers, and he's playing as a second, third option on a third team in the East as a rookie.
Yeah, I think that makes him an even stronger candidate than some of the other options. I said Cade Cunningham for mine, and I want to keep one of my picks, so I'm going to keep this one just because I want to keep something.
Yeah, no, he
just had a great game, a few great games. He's been playing really good since coming back from some of his injuries.
Yeah, like what, 38?
I think it was 34, 8, and 4 steals.
Yeah, he's been balling. So let's move on to 6-man. I had Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero's averaging 20 points a game. I think I was spot on with that one. I'm going to keep Tyler Hero.
So, yeah, I think Hero might be the front runner for this award right now.
Yeah.
20 off the bench is really impressive, even though he kind of is chucking shots.
Oh, yeah, but that comes with Tyler Hero. I mean, if you're going to have Tyler Hero on your team, you understand that he's going to shoot the ball.
Yeah, so I guess his 20 points per game is a little misleading considering the fact he's not really shooting the best percentages. He's just kind of chucking shots. He's not shooting bad, though. He's shooting better than he was last year and improved. But
yeah, like he's one of those. He's averaging 20 on. Wow, he's shooting 39% from 3. That's really good for Tyler Hero.
Good,
I mean, it's not 50, 40, 90 kind of numbers, but 43% from the field, which is one of the best of his career. He took a 5-point per game jump this year, and he's shooting the 3 ball the best he's shot in his career. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. You know, I'm big on Tyler Hero winning this award. I'm not a big Tyler Hero fan, but I will respect what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's by far the biggest favorite to win this award. I kind of want to say someone else. I had a good other name that I was thinking of saying. I want to be different. So, all right. So before I had what's his name? Kevin Huerter as mine. He's not going to win it. Yeah. I'm just changing that. And I don't even know why I picked him. I had no reasoning behind it.
I don't think that was a bad preseason pick.
It was just kind of, I feel like with the 6-man, it's kind of a random person and kind of went with him. I'd say the other candidate for this award is Kelly Oubre.
That's a good one. He just had 40 off the bench.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Kelly Oubre, he's one of those players that he'll do nothing for a couple games and then he'll randomly hit like 9 threes. And he's not a 3-point shooter, but he'll have these games where
he just gets a hot hand.
Yeah, where he gets hot. Well,
yeah, that's kind of funny talking about Kelly Oubre anyway. Rudy Gobert was my DPOY. I'm sticking to Rudy Gobert. Now, the only reason why I'm concerned that he might not win it is because voters fatigue. It's obviously a thing. People don't like seeing the same people win awards. Gobert's a 3-time DPOY. I think he should make it a 4th. I really don't think there's another defender in the NBA that's anywhere close to Rudy Gobert, but I could see them not giving him the award because of the voters fatigue. But I'm going to stick to Rudy Gobert. He's locked in. I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction. So who do you have DPOY?
Well, so before I had Ben Simmons.
That's crazy. Because prior to the season, we even knew that Ben Simmons might not suit up.
Yeah, I don't really know where I was getting at with that.
You know what? It's coming back to me. Now that you talk about it, we're in this room because we talked about it before, and I was like, "Why did you pick Ben?" But now that we're in this room, I remember you saying that you could imagine him going to another team and just like going crazy, like being like their star, not like not like crazy star. But I remember you saying like I could see him going to another team and being like crazy good
Yeah,
player.
well, that hasn't happened.
It has happened.
And I guess another reasoning with Ben Simmons is when he does play, I think he's in that category with Gobert and
Yes.
Giannis, and then it's maybe him and just the best defenders in the NBA. Maybe
Hmm.
throw Draymond Green in there. And
Yeah.
by far, probably, other than Giannis, the most athletic in that group.
Ben's
too.
the best on-ball defender in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like I think if Ben came back right now, he'd still be the best on-ball defender in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, easily. And
Depending on what shape he's in, obviously.
yeah, who
We haven't heard
knows?
from Ben.
Haven't heard from him in months. But
Yeah.
yeah, with his size and just being a huge guard and the athleticism, I kind of could see how he could be Defensive Player of the Year, and he almost won it last year. A lot of people thought he was snubbed of it last year, and
I
guess
wanted him to win it.
that's where I was going at, but he's not playing, so it's kind of just like
Yeah, it's a wash.
it's a wash there. My new pick, I'm going Draymond Green,
Good pick.
and I just feel like Draymond Green had such a down year last year, and when the Warriors are winning, you realize how good of a defender Draymond Green is because I feel like you just notice his effort and his IQ on defense of just picking up switches, just being the defensive anchor for the team. And now, with that all being said, the Warriors are winning this year. Draymond Green's back, and people are realizing he's one of the best defenders. And I think there is also a voters' fatigue. Although Draymond's won it before, give
Twice,
it back
right?
to. I think it's twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to Draymond this year. He hasn't won it in a couple years. I think it'd be a good fit.
Yeah, if I could pick a second pick, it would be Dre for sure. I'm a big Dre fan. You gotta check him out. He was just on JJ Redick's podcast. I'm gonna watch the whole. I think the episode's like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna watch it right after we get out of here. But I watched some clips of it, some like 10-minute clips. He was talking about he thought the Warriors were done. Like he thought their window was 100% closed. Like when they won 15 games that year with Curry being out, they just had D'Angelo Russell. He was like, it's over. Like, it's totally over. And he was telling JJ Redick, like, he couldn't wake up for games when they were losing. Like, he would literally just be like, don't play me today. Don't play me today because I want to win and these guys don't want to win, so I'm not playing. And that just goes to show, like, you can hate on that, or like you could be one of those guys like, oh, well, it's your job to go play. But I think Draymond just has that power where it's like he knows he can't really make an impact on a bad team because he's just not a talented scorer or anything. So he's going to go out there and just contribute to the winning teams. And if he's not playing for that winning team, he don't want to play at all. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how hard that is for a player to be on a team that's winning championships every year,
Yeah.
but just being one of the worst teams in the league and nobody cares.
And during a 15-win season, he also took a pay cut because he's like, I want to get someone else to help us win. Like,
wow.
like isn't that crazy? Like, 15-win season, Draymond. Now, a couple of years ago, I'm talking here. He could have easily been a max player.
Yeah.
Easily, like some of these guys, like Tobias Harris getting maxes and stuff. He could have been a max player, but yeah, Draymond contribution to winning just starts on the defensive end, and obviously he's got the offense. But that's a great pick for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and I hope he wins it. I'd rather see him than Gobert.
Yeah, I would too. I just voted what I think will happen.
Yep. Last one, we have Coach of the Year.
So I had Monty Williams, and I'm sticking to my guns. Monty Williams sitting in first place in the West with the Phoenix Suns. I think they hold that number 1 seed unless there's obviously a significant injury like to Devin Booker or Chris Paul. They're 38-9. He's Coach of the Year in my opinion.
So I had Steve Kerr. Part of me wants to keep it because the Warriors are so good, but I want to change it because this is who I actually think will win it and give it to JB Bickerstaff.
Good pick.
Cavs.
Good pick.
Got to go with him.
I like
just
that
because
pick
of the
a lot.
leap they took. And I think Steve Kerr's going to be a candidate for it, and I don't think I had a bad pick with that. But if I could upgrade my pick and I have the chance right now, might as well do it.
Yeah, and I think Billy Donovan's another one of those guys that I discussed in the first episode who could win it. The race in the East is, 1.5 games. It's anyone's game. Like down to the six. Like the Sixers are only 2 games out of first place, and the Bucks in at 6 are only 2 games out of first place. So any of those coaches, if their teams gets hot, they could just swipe that award. Like who knows if Doc Rivers gets the award at the end of the year? It's kind of anyone's game. Yeah, I kind of hope not either. But yeah, Monty Williams is my pick, and you locked in.
I'm going with JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, good pick. I like that pick a lot. If I could take it back, I think I would pick him as well.
Yeah, it's just the fact I want to upgrade it.
I kind of wish I paid attention to what we predicted the Cavs to be at the beginning of the year, because we were wrong.
Them.
We were so wrong. We were talking about how they have so many big men, how it'll never work. Lowry Markkanen playing the 3, we were like, no way. It's crazy. Like, they use that to their advantage. They have these 3 big guys, and I don't know if you've watched any Cavs game, but I've seen some reports like breaking down their defense. They funnel every person that needs to drive to the hoop. They funnel him to the middle just so they could get blocked by Jared Allen or Evan Mobley.
It's a great
it's crazy
strategy there.
Yeah, it's literally like they make like a tube that they have to run down just to get swatted.
Yeah, and no, the Cavs are playing really good. I think
it's worked.
Yeah, they should. They're going to continue to play this good. They're going to be a top 4 seed is my pick right now. I don't think that changes much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that could change given injuries, but yeah, no injuries. We're talking a healthy Cavs team. They've beaten some good teams by big margins, so yeah, I'm excited for them. Back to the 3/2. We just took a little break right there. Prior to the break, we're going over some of the All-Stars, what we thought. Obviously, the full rosters aren't out, so we were just kind of doing our predictions, and then we revisited our preseason predictions and put some changes into them and locked them in for the rest of the year, now that we got to see a couple months of basketball. For the rest of the show, I think we're just going to go over some exciting stuff coming to the NBA this week, and I know during the break, Chris told me that he had something surprising, that he wanted a genuine reaction out of me. So, what do you got?
So, I feel like this is not being talked about at all in the NBA, but LeBron is 104 points away from being the all-time leading scorer, both regular season and postseason combined.
Wow.
That's not being talked about.
Like over Kareem?
Yeah.
Wow.
With regular season and postseason combined.
So, he's only, I mean, LeBron could do that in 5-6 games. Yeah. Less than that, maybe. That's kind of crazy.
Nobody talks about that, and I feel like the record should be regular season and postseason. So he's at the point where he's going to score more points than anybody ever to play basketball in the NBA. Granted, when Kareem played, the postseason was shorter. There wasn't as many 7-game series and as many teams always in, I'm pretty sure. But LeBron, 104 points away from beating Kareem's record. I feel like everyone knew when Steph Curry was getting close, but hasn't been talked about as much with LeBron.
Wow, so you're talking about like the Kareem record, like when you look up who's the NBA's all-time leading scorer?
That's different.
Or so that's just regular season?
That's just regular season. This is everything combined. LeBron's about to pass. But I'm kind of in the boat where I think that this should be what you look up. Like when you see the all-time leading scorer, it should include playoffs, not just the regular season.
Yeah, no, that would definitely make sense. And we're talking playoffs, all-time leading scorer. LeBron's had that for years now, but I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. And that record of him passing Kareem isn't safe for Kareem. I mean, he's probably going to pass that.
I think LeBron passes it. It'll take him, how many years we think? Like 4 more or something, 5?
I think prior to this year, it was saying that he needs to average 20 points a game for 4 more years. But LeBron's averaging like 26 right now, so that eases off that a little bit.
He could do it in like 3.5 maybe.
Yeah, maybe even a little less. Yeah, he's getting it. And I don't want to talk goats, but I think he's the goat.
Yeah, and you might have to give it to him there if he gets the all-time scoring record too. But
he's going to be number 1 in points, top 10 in assists, and top 10 in rebounds. It's crazy.
I always think it seems like the career triple-double because he has the 30,000 points and 10,000 rebounds and 10,000 assists.
Yep. Yeah, that's the Russell Westbrook dream right there.
Yeah, for real.
The
But
30-point career triple-double.
just my whole point with that is the reason I brought that up is that's something to watch this week. And we were going to talk about other big games this week and things to watch. That has not been pumped out by NBA media at all. It's not talked about how LeBron's going to get that record.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's LeBron James, been the face of the NBA for so long now. I mean, also another thing about LeBron that's not being talked about is the fact that he's averaging 29 points a game.
It's one of his best scoring seasons ever.
At what, 37 years old? I mean, that's crazy. Like what I mean, other than like Tom Brady, obviously in football, but like what other guys this old in sports carrying the game like this?
Can't think of any.
Yeah, I mean,
Him
obviously.
and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They're in a league of their own.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Exactly right.
Yeah. So what other games we got this week that we're looking forward to?
Yeah, so we got tomorrow night. Well, we'll start with tonight. One of the exciting games tonight would be the Hawks versus Celtics. I just think those are two entertaining teams, but the main one tonight that I'm interested in is the Lakers Hornets because very fun teams, and I want to watch that one. It comes on at 7:30 Eastern. Maybe the most significant game tonight would just be the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. That could be a dogfight between those two teams, and they're both fighting for similar spots in the West. And then tomorrow night, I think the highlight game of the week is going to be the Nets versus the Warriors. Obviously, both aren't fully healthy, but that's always a good matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited for Nets Warriors. That'll be a good one. Who do we have that's out in that game?
Let me see if I could. I mean,
we should have Harden playing.
James Harden is listed as probable.
Okay.
You got Kyrie expected to play.
Wait, is it so? It's an away game. So
yeah, but
it's one of the
it's in California. I thought he couldn't play in California.
I'm not sure.
I thought it was New York and California he couldn't play in.
They're being more lenient on when he gets to play and when he doesn't. So.
And then you got All-Star Andrew Wiggins, All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins playing.
Is Clay going to be back? I know
Clay's playing.
Okay.
Actually,
Clay played last night. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. He played really well. He shot like 9. He shot like 5 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, it was a good game. I forgot Clay did come back again for a second time.
Yeah, it's been a long road for Clay. I'm hoping his legs are under him finally, and we don't have to worry about if he's playing or not, unless obviously something crazy happened to him. But
I think him missing a couple games like last week was just injury management. You don't want to push him too much, and if he wasn't feeling it fully, I'm sure they're super cautious with him.
Yeah, no, I get the Warriors' approach, and that's kind of why. And then in other news, that's kind of why like KD kind of left them. Remember that whole story coming out, like about how KD was, being pushed back to play, and then he tore his Achilles, and that's why he left the Warriors. That's the whole thing. But yeah, anyway,
that was weird.
I think this will be KD's first time playing at was it Chase Center now?
Yeah.
Chase Center, yeah. It was Oracle when KD was there. Now they're in the Chase Center. I wonder what the fans do to KD. Are they the booing crowd, or are they the...
I wouldn't boo him. He got them a couple
2
rings.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? You could boo him. Make it entertaining. If you're going to boo KD, he's just going to give you 50 points, so...
And bash you on Twitter.
Yeah, and come back at you on Twitter, because he's one of those guys. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No. So we're going to take a look at all those games this week, and any thoughts for the next show, what we want to do?
Not sure yet. I think we're going to be able to find a lot of ideas throughout this week. And speaking of the next show, our shows are going to be occurring at this time, 3 o'clock, 3 to 4 every Friday. We have a couple of websites that we're going to try and publish these out to and try and grow, as well as ourselves and this brand of the 3/2. And it's been an exciting show, and I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, stay tuned for the websites and everything else. Thank you for listening to the 3/2.